So, slight change of background. Getting better at figuring out exactly how to position the camera to not get all the glare. Anyway, so today I thought that I would talk about basically how brainwashing works in an abusive relationship. The easiest example would be the after effects of my relationship with Kay. To better explain this, let me tell you what it was like when I first moved in with my husband. At the time we were dating, we weren't. Actually, no. When we first moved in together, we were actually just friends. We started dating after we moved in together. But strange. But anyway, when we moved in together and we started dating, we would do laundry together. And at the time, we were very, very poor. When we first moved in together and we were friends, we didn't have beds. He had a TV, and I don't think we had the entertainment center. Neither one of us had a bed. He had a cot that he borrowed from his aunt, and I didn't have a mattress, but I did have a pillow top, and so I used this pillow top as a mattress. And we actually shared my pillow top because I didn't want him to sleep on this really uncomfortable cot. And I mean, it was a cot. It was a roll out, unfold cot. So we didn't have a lot, being the point. And so anyway, we didn't have a washer and dryer. The apartment that we lived in, same apartment that we live in now, had a washer and dryer hookup, but we didn't have a washer and dryer. We didn't have the money to go and buy a washer and dryer. So what we would do is on the weekends we would go to the laundromat, which is a couple of miles down the road, and we would do laundry. And the very first time that we did laundry together, my husband realized exactly how brainwashed I really was, because I am not very particular about my laundry. Everything has a place where it goes in my closet. However, I don't care if the shirts face all the right way. I don't care. You know, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that doesn't really matter to me. And if you get a shirt wrong, it's, you know, if he hangs up my shirt wrong, like, I don't care. But even though I am so relaxed about my laundry, because it's not a big deal, I can always just put it where it goes later if he screws up, I was so nervous about doing his laundry. How do you want your shirts folded? Where do you want your shirts to go? Which way do your shirts face? Like, what goes in the closet? What goes in, you know, a dresser? Very anal about where everything had to go and how everything had to be. And it shocked him because he's like, you don't even care about your own laundry. Like, why are you so obsessed with mine? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't want an argument. And he was like, well, why would I argue with you about laundry? It's laundry. He has a very specific way that he wants certain things done. Like, he wants all of his shirts facing a certain way. So basically all face to the right. Like a pocket shirt, the pocket has to go on facing that way. Or rather, the face to the left, I'm sorry, to the right. And he does have like long dress shirts, long sleeve shirts, you know, he does have them divided. But they're not like color coordinated or anything, and he's not very particular about things like tank tops. But when he was folding the tank top, and I took the tank top away from him, and I refolded it, and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, you didn't fold it right. He was like, it's my shirt. That's not right. There's a right way to fold a tank top. And if you don't fold it right, then, and he was like, well, then what? what happens if I don't fold my tank top right? Like, does the world end? Does, will sulfur rain down upon us? Will something horrible happen? No, nothing horrible will happen if we don't fold the tank tops right. But to this day, I can't not fold the tank top that very specific way. And it's not something that I was taught to as a child. It's something that I was brainwashed into doing when I was with my ex-wife, because she would hit me. If I folded the tank top wrong, she would hit me because she had told me once how to fold a tank top, and she did not have to tell me again. Tank tops are folded in a very specific way. You will fold them this way, or they're going to be holes. And it seems absurd, right? And after seeing, I never really thought about it. It just slowly came to be my reality while I was with her. So I never really thought about it. But then, my husband was like, what happens when you don't? Do you think I'm going to hit you? And I was like, no, of course I don't think you're going to hit me. If I thought you were going to hit me, I wouldn't, be with you through it those days. And he was like, well, then what's going to happen? I'm going to leave you because you folded the tank top wrong. I'm not going to beat you because you folded the tank top wrong. Really, I don't even think there's a right or wrong way to fold a tank top. If it's a tank top, it's just fold it. But there is a right way. Just take it from the bottom, stretch it out, and then fold it. And then fold it down. And when you lay it in the drawer, you either have to kind of roll it up, or fold it to where the shoulder straps are on top. Because if you fold it from the top, then it's all wrinkly at the bottom, because they tend to be bigger and stretchier at the bottom. And so, there's no logical reasons to fold it that way, sure, but the world will not end if you fold the tank top wrong. And this was very hard for me to kind of accept. And even after that, there were, times when, it was just insane. I would stress over how to put up laundry. And it took a while for me to start not stressing about how to put up laundry, because to me, it's been programmed into my brain. My brain does not compute that there are no big end of the world consequences to not folding laundry right. And it's hard, it's difficult, it's weird to explain, but that's the way it is. And I was brainwashed to believe a lot of things. A lot of them had to do with clothes, oddly enough. There was a certain amount of clothes that I was allowed to have, and I wasn't allowed to exceed that amount. So, the first time, it didn't matter who bought the clothes, if I paid for them or if they were gifts. If I received a shirt, then I had to get rid of the shirt. If I got new pair of pants, I had to get rid of a pair of pants. Sometimes, if I got a new pair of pants, I had to get rid of 3 pairs of pants because I just had too much. And I do like clothes. Let me just go and get that out of the way. I like clothes, and I like shoes. But it was strange because even recently, my husband and I had been talking about how we both needed new sneakers, because there's a difference to us between tennis shoes and sneakers, and we're sneaker kind of people. And when I bought the new ones, we ended up buying the exact same pair of shoes, because they didn't have a wide variety of women's shoes that I liked, so I just got men's, and then they didn't have a wide variety of men's shoes in my size. So we ended up getting the same pair of shoes, and I was almost nervous when we got home, and I explained to him that I didn't want to get rid of my old sneakers, because I can use my old sneakers for things where I know they're going to get, really dirty. If I'm watching the dogs outside, then I know the shoes are going to get really dirty, and I don't want to do that in my new shoes. Or if it's raining and I need to run out to, to the dumpster to throw the trash away. I want to do that in my new shoes. I mean, they're going to get all sorts of wet, and the trash is going to get on them, and meh. So, even after all this time, and I know he's not going to beat me up, I know he's not going to leave me. He's not going to yell at me. He might jokingly tell me that I am a shoe whore and that I need, help with my shoe addiction because I have too many shoes. But he would never throw my shoes away. He would never get rid of them without my consent, and he would never even pressure me to get rid of them. But even knowing that that's the truth, it's really hard for me to think that I can have two pairs of sneakers because I lived in a world where I couldn't, where, okay, well, you bought new pairs of sneakers, and that was a waste of money because you didn't need new sneakers, and now you have two pairs of sneakers, and so you need to get rid of a pair of sneakers because people, somewhere need sneakers. Throw them away, no one's going to get them, but that was the logic. And somehow this started to make sense in my brain that you just can't own two pairs of sneakers. And my husband, bless his heart, he tries to understand why I sometimes freak out about these things, but he can't. Like, he came from a really bad childhood, but he's never lived in a world where what you wear every day is dictated. And what I wore every day was dictated. I mean, there's a dress that I own, and it's really pretty. It's black, and it's sheer, and it has these sheer roses in it, right? And then underneath is a slip that's like sewn in that is this kind of rose pink color. And so it's really pretty, and I wear it to a lot of special occasions and whatnot. But when I worked for an insurance company for a while, basically just doing data entry. But anyway, when I worked for them, I had to dress up to work every day. Like, I had to wear a dress or a skirt or slacks. And so I wore these things. And one day I decided to wear that dress. And because it does have spaghetti straps, I wore a really cool looking, black open sweater over it. And then I wore these cute little boots. Well, she woke up and saw me leaving for work dressed that way and informed me that I couldn't go to work dressed that way because I looked like a whore. One day maybe I'll model the dress and show you. Like, it's very much not a whore's dress. First of all, there's not such a thing as a whore's dress. Dresses don't make you a whore. If you're talking about someone who, whore means someone who's, promiscuous in her sex life, then that has nothing to do with how you dress. Also, there's nothing wrong with being promiscuous if, all of your partners are aware that they're not the only one, and it's a very open and honest kind of thing, then there's nothing wrong with that. Do what you want to do. You're a grown woman. And if it means that you're, a prostitute, if you take the word whore to literally mean that you sell you sell sex with yourself for money, then also, yeah, that has nothing to do with the way that you dress. High class call girls don't dress the same way as the women who walk down Dickerson Pike, in Nashville, so still not about the way you dress. You could literally wear anything and sell your body, sell yourself. Also, I'm of the opinion that should be legal because I think it would make women safer. That's all for something. So that's my personal political views on prostitution. It's not a topic for today. But so yeah, basically I was told that I was a whore because of a dress that I wore. And this dress is, I mean, it's very pretty, very conservative dress. It's black. It's got pink underneath it. I don't own a lot of pink. I don't like pink. But anyway, so that's the way that went down. Yeah. There's a lot of things that I was just kind of, you know, brainwashed to believe that were not true. It's very hard, even today, to not think of those things. Like whenever I buy new clothes, I almost feel guilty. If I don't throw clothes away or donate something to Goodwill, I almost feel guilty because, you know, more clothes than I should have. But I like my husband's response to that, which is basically to tell me that I'm a very eclectic person, so I need clothes. Because one day, you know, I'm all like punk rocker, and the next day I'm very, you know, jeans and a t-shirt. And sometimes I want to dress up, and sometimes I just want to slouch around the house. And so I need a variety of clothes. And it seems so stupid, but it means a lot to me that, you know, my husband doesn't try to, you know, convince me that I have too many clothes or too many shoes or too much makeup or whatever. I don't even wear a lot of makeup. I own a lot of makeup. I don't wear it, but most of it is the hassle. I mean, it's not one that I particularly want to take. Anyway. So, I guess it's Brainwashing 101. Working slow steps. First, it's you really need this. You can spend that money on this instead. It builds up to the point where you really learn to have an emotional reaction to anything that could be perceived as excess. I still feel guilty sometimes for this apartment. And it's not a great apartment. It's kind of a shitty apartment in a shitty part of town. Although it seems to be getting more high class recently, but I don't fit in anymore because it's so high class. But no, there's like, I still feel guilty sometimes because it's like, well, I have a computer and a laptop. And my husband has a computer and I have a tablet and we both have smartphones. And, you know, I have a room that is dedicated to being my office. And do I deserve this? Sometimes I feel like I don't. Because I don't know why. These video I don't think that I do. And I think I'm going to work to make myself proud so I continue to talk about this. So one of these days, you know, the wound will heal and there will be nothing but a scar. The day may have come, maybe that I keep putting a scar, irritating me. So that's that. Brainwashing 101. I'm going to go now, take care of my puppies, because I think they're eating one another. Looks like they're eating one another. Pretty sure that one of my dogs is a lesbian, because she wants to, you know, fuck with the other female more than she wants to fuck with the male, which is fine. I totally support, you know, lesbianism and that all. But it's just like fun. So there's like a love triangle thing going on with all. So, it's fun. Anyway. We really need to find ways for ending these, considering that I'm apparently going to continue doing them. So, later.